Hello everybody, I'm TJ, and today I'm joined by one of our newest Grandmasters for the Americas region, Luke NoHandsGamer cooking. Hey Luke, how you doing today, man?
Good, how about yourself?
I'm doing great. Today we're going to play some games of Hearthstone, actually, while we chat about what you're excited for Grandmasters and about your past in Hearthstone. This is going to be my way, effectively, to prove that I'm better than Grandmasters, because I'm going to try and distract you with some questions. While I play some
good
great
strategy.
games. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm known for. Known for some good strategy. So actually, let's go ahead and queue up. I'm going to queue up one of my favorite decks right now. A deck that I just I have a 100% win rate. I'm 44-0.
100% win rate. Dang.
Yeah, 44-0. And let me take a look. See here. Yep, top 10 legend. That's right. Don't look at your friends list. It's okay. You know, one of the things that a lot of players that may have followed you or know that you're coming into Grandmasters in this 2020 season 2 know you for some of the decks that you've created and popularized. The biggest one, I think, being No Hands Warrior, which is what we called it for much of Season 1. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the origins of that deck?
Yeah, that I was talking to my buddy who was at the beginning of the expansion, and I was like, I got this idea for a warrior deck, and he's like, I do too. And a lot of the initial ideas we kind of had similar stuff, but the original idea was more on, I thought that 3-mana Bladestorm card would be really good when comboed with Frothing Berserker for OTKs. And that turned out to be really bad, but I also had put eggs in Terran, and I was like, wow, this feels really good. And I kind of just kept swapping out. And then at some point I was doing well against Demon Hunters early game, but I was losing to Priestess of the Fury, and then I put Brutes in, and then all of a sudden, you know, it was a legit deck. And that's kind of the story of that. So
see what I mean by I'm distracting you with questions?
Dude, it is distracting.
You have no idea what's coming, do you?
I'm doing the easy.
All right, well, it looks like I lose the game. GG on that one. But yeah, I think a lot of players know of No Hands Warrior because they've been terrorized by on ladder. So it's it must be cool, kind of, you know, building a deck like that and then watching so many people play it and then it being played at the highest level, people taking it and kind of running with it and making their own versions of it. That's got to feel cool. And you've recently started to have some success, and I don't want to say recently because I know you've been streaming for a while, but I've seen like your numbers go up. I've been watching your stream a lot. It seems like you've kind of found a nice little place on Twitch for yourself. Talk to me a little bit about how it's been streaming as of late.
Yeah, streaming's been really great. There's definitely a thing of anytime I have some potential new spice, you know, the numbers go way up because it can be almost annoying because if I have a good idea, I feel like everyone will be copying it pretty quickly because so sometimes
I got you, friend.
I miss the days when I had my own deck that was just for me for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess that's the curse of success, I guess. But yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun streaming, and you know, you get to talk about ideas and kind of share your philosophy. You know, like I talk to a lot of people about stuff like because people will say, "Oh, I'm so unlucky," and I'll say, "Well, like, you're probably just as unlucky as everybody else." You know, I haven't looked at, you know, maybe, you know, we look at 100 games a year, 1,000 games, and maybe you really are the unluckiest person out there. But I don't know. I'm gonna assume no until I get additional information. You know.
No, I mean, it's just a weird phenomenon that your stream happens to just house a lot of the viewers that are the unluckiest players in Hearthstone. So
I know it is. That might be the case. I can't really confirm or deny, but
yeah, I believe it. I mean, I've watched your stream, and I am like, just look at this game, for example. This has been very unlucky.
Pretty unlucky. I don't know how I've beat this. But.
You had the Soulfire in 2, and if you didn't have that Soulfire in 2, you'd be dead by now. So
yeah, it's true.
So I'm just unlucky. But yeah, it's been fun, kind of watching your rise to being promoted as Grandmaster, and not only just watching a Master Church, but also, like I said, following your stream. I know it's a story that I'm sure you've told a bunch of times, but as I'm about to die here, I really need a good question to ask you, to distract you, to make sure that I have some time to think. Tell me about the NoHandsGamer Battletech backstory. Why do you call yourself NoHandsGamer?
So I can show you what I'm not actually using my hands at all while I play here. You can see here I'm still clicking. So when I was
Guys, I can't move.
when I was
See, it's working.
when I was
It's working.
When I was 19, I actually, people don't know I'm also the no left foot gamer. I developed some chronic pain issues in my left foot, and I eventually went to a bunch of doctors, and a lot of things were unsuccessful, and I eventually had a surgery on it. Things are doing better, and things then got worse. Then while I was during my second surgery, I was just plopped up on my computer. I did not have an ergonomic keyboard. I was playing just tons of games because it's all I could do. And then one day, just my hands started hurting me, and I went to doctors. And there's kind of the nerve pain is fundamentally hard to diagnose and treat. But the general consensus was I have some sort of susceptibility to nerve pain and chronic pain. A lot of times when someone has a surgery, it can open up new channels, and the idea was that I kind of developed that from this, and it's kind of, and then so that's kind of how that came. So I just didn't play video games for a long time, and then I kind of wanted to play a game, and I found the Hearthstone that I could play with hands-free technology. There's kind of intermediate steps there, and then I was playing it, and I was roping a lot, and people were getting mad. So I was like, I better let people know that there's it's I'm not trying to rope, I'm just slow. So I changed my name to the NoHandsGamer, and that's kind of and also I was starting to stream, so I wanted to kind of be consistent with that. So
right as you were killing me there, you just had to rub it in that you just beat me without using your hands. That's an insult that I heard a bunch when I was playing Xbox when I was a little kid. But for you, it actually means something.
Eventually I'll forget to kill one of your totems, statistically.
Well, you did last game. You forgot to kill one of my totems, so.
Yeah, I just was,
and I still
the questions were so engaging.
I still lost. But you mentioned you didn't really play video games for a long time, and you try and play what you can, but it's kind of tough. Do you have any hobbies outside of gaming, outside of playing video games? Is there anything else that you like to do?
Yeah, I've been focusing on the kind of the video games a lot lately, but historically I've had a huge amount. So when I was originally hurt myself, I don't do this anymore, but I did do improv. But I did stand-up comedy for 2 years, and I don't like telling people because people are like, "Wow, I never would have known," and you're like, "Oh, it's not." You want them to think, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." But I did stand-up comedy for a while. I did play poker semi-professionally for a while, and I did.
A little egg goes a long
Also, before I hurt myself, I was a big swing dancer and salsa dancer. That's kind of the realm where I hurt myself. So I've done a lot of different things over the years, but I kind of tend to have one hobby at a time, and it kind of consumes me until then eventually I stop and I do another hobby.
Is that going to happen with Hearthstone? Is it going to consume you for a while and then eventually you'll go?
I mean,
try something else.
If that is a trend, maybe we'll see. That's maybe Hearthstone will be the last hobby. It'll be
the forever
no
hobby.
More, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there'll be no more hobbies after that. It's I've been just looking for the perfect one. So.
Well, like what makes Hearthstone different? What motivates you to keep trying in Hearthstone, or to keep trying to move to the next step?
Yeah, I think what's nice is I like so with poker it's such a volume thing where I like the one-on-one aspect of Hearthstone. It's very similar to a lot of things. I played chess in high school, so I played poker. I have a lot of skills in the kind of Hearthstone ground. So there's it's also nice to like play where people are actually good at something. So I was playing weird board games online before I discovered Hearthstone when I wanted to play a game because I didn't know about Hearthstone, and it was nice. I might become the number 2 player of this game.
Agony goes a long way.
But no one's playing it. So it's there's me and 5 other people who have become elite at this game, and I want to be like, guys, I'm the one of the 4th best Stone Age player in the world, and people are like, what's Stone Age, or stuff like that. These real, I don't know if you played Stone Age. I was really good at it. It's a board game, but you can play it online. So it's nice, like being able to play. It's nice in a real dark sense. It's nice that people care and that people suffer when you lose. Because that's like half the fun. So. Where if no one cares, no one's invested, it's not as exciting.
You were just a bird.
Well, kind of speaking of that, now you've kind of taken the next step in, becoming a Grandmaster. You can't ask for much better competition than that. You're going to be facing, the best players in your region. So, and there are people invested into it. So what's it like, what was the road like to becoming a Grandmaster? Did you was that a goal from the get-go, or did it kind of surprise you? And then now that you've made it there, how does that feel to kind of be a Grandmaster?
I think I haven't focused on specifically the Grandmaster role as much as I I think I've wanted to win tournaments. That's kind of the pinnacle of I think I want in Grandmasters. I more the goal is to win. I think that's it's very satisfying. I know when I was playing poker, you dream about winning the World Series of Poker and having that kind of glory. And and now I've had that in Hearthstone. I've won 2 tournaments for 5,000, the HET Philadelphia and WSOE, and it's a very just kind of goes with you, just knowing that if only for one day you were the best player in the world that day, and it can be very satisfying in that way. Just knowing you played against people who were trying their best, and you were trying your best, and you made it. You made it work, and that's a very satisfying experience to do. So, Grandmasters is great, but I think the Grandmasters really thing is the opportunity to play against the best in a forum where it matters, and there's stakes, and there's things on the line, and people, that's what really is interesting about it. If you don't not only do well, you can make a lot of money and get a lot of just the glory, but if you lose, you're out. And that's scary, but that's also makes you feel alive. So.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because I think this is some of the highest stakes Hearthstone I've ever played. That game was a riveting back and forth, and came to a tough conclusion there with me having to take the loss. But all right, cue up the same deck again. I'm going to hit you with a different shaman, a shaman that I've been tinkering with.
I don't need to use a lot of brain power to know, it's turn 1, I should play a 1-drop. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of in my habits. It's kind of in my autopilot. But maybe a complicated, I got to draw, and then I got to save my mana. And it shows you kind of what... By doing this, it kind of shows me what I don't have unconscious. So I know last game I made a mistake where I should have played Dark Lair first and then Hero Powered and done my play, but I kind of played Dark Lair at a spot where I wasn't able to get the Hero Power in. So I realized that's not. So one of the things I'm doing when I'm trying to prove, I'm trying to get better at the high end, but I'm also trying to just get all my things down on an unconscious level. So it's I don't, because under pressure, they've literally shown people's your brain, sometimes higher level brain function will shut down because it just there's so much on the line, and you or you're tilting, or if you're scared. But if you've mastered these concepts, you could be talking to someone, you could be under the influence, you could be exhausted, but your brain still has that stuff unconsciously. So that's kind of I think interesting about this. So
do you use that to hone in good practice?
Absolutely, yeah. It's I think people when I'm tryharding, and sometimes I'm not tryharding, but there's a thing called like the notebook where if you make a mistake, that's especially really obvious. You write it down. So you might say something like, "Oh, I should tap first." And then your brain says, you kind of imbue that until it gets to the point where you don't have to think about it anymore, and then you can think about new things. So that's a common strategy I like to use to get better.
So I'm helping you become a better player right now.
Exactly.
So
yes.
if you have a lot of success in Grandmasters this season, you can almost directly attribute it to me and my help.
I really think this was the pivoting moment, so.
Okay. So I'm glad we're recording this because I just needed, someone to say that I helped them do anything better. How do you like this deck, by the way? I think this deck is you don't even know what to expect. You don't even know what card's going to come flying out of my hand next. Honestly, exactly. I don't either. So.
Yeah, there's a thing sometimes in poker where when someone doesn't know what they're doing, sometimes it can cause you to mess up because you don't know what to expect. So because of that, like you think they're bluffing, but really they just didn't know what they're doing. So it's hard to read them. So I just have no idea what's in your hand. You could just be pulling anything on me at this moment.
Yeah, I've heard that theory before. I don't know if there's a name behind it, but I've definitely heard that theory before. If there's like the only person who can beat the number one player is a bronze player because they don't know what to expect, or for chess grandmasters because they haven't seen that scenario before. Coming down to the last couple of questions here, as I decide which side my lurker below should begin on. Not spoiler. There we go. Sure, whatever.
Oh, I got owned. Oh, God, I did not play around this.
You did play around it. You put your biggest thing in the middle.
Oh, dude, my unconscious confidence is too good.
See? Yeah, there you go. Let's talk about the current Grandmasters. Are there any current Grandmasters that you look up to a lot? That you've used as inspiration in the past for deck building or for your own play?
Yeah, I definitely looked to Bloodyface a lot. When I think of Bloodyface, I think sort of just consistency, doing, I think there's this concept that, it's easy to fall prey to called fancy play syndrome, where you like do something fancy for show, but it's not, and I feel Bloodyface is just really solid Hearthstone. It just reminds me, like that's like the bedrock, like because I have to resist the temptation to like go in and just do something ridiculous because there's a lot at stake, and I think there's a time. So that's kind of the compromise of knowing, okay, when I know this is the best strategy versus when I know, like, okay, this might be good, but it might just get me kicked out of Grandmaster. So there's some stuff like that. I also play against Monsanto a lot historically. And me and Monsanto, it's fun to play because Monsanto will, I can do mind games against him, and I can bluff secrets and stuff, and he always is thinking. So it's fun to do mind games against him because I can. If you play a hunter secret on a 2-mana board, he's not going to just attack face. He's going to think, oh, it's an explosive trap, and he's going to play around it. So there's just fun stuff you can do with that you can't do against maybe a weaker player. So,
well, maybe this is kind of you answer this question by talking about the players that you play against, but which Grandmasters do you want to beat the most?
Ooh, who do I want to beat the most? I don't know. I feel like I'd like to beat some of the European Grandmasters, but I have to get there. I'd like to have. I remember playing Viper at HCT Philadelphia, and I've noticed we've actually brought similar lineups in a lot of things. Like at HCT Philadelphia, we brought a similar lineup. I know at HCT Las Vegas, we both brought like a kind of a secrety mech hunter, and I'd like to. It was a really good match we had at HCT Philadelphia, and it was kind of early in my sort of Hearthstone career. I'd like to play a Viper again. So in a high stakes match. But I know when I used to play poker, there's times where that you should really just fold in in a tournament and get to the money. And I hate doing that because I always want to go for first. It just feels like going for second just feels like giving up in life. You don't have to hit first, but you got to go for first. It feels right to just go for the win, go for it all. But sometimes maybe it's the right strategy in certain situations to not go for it all, just go for medium. But that's my personality. I want to go for it all. I want to go for the number one. I don't want to just make a top 8, which can be a huge deal. I don't want to say making a top 8 is huge, but I wanted to beat X Blaze X in the recent this and win it all. And in the moment I was like, okay, but afterwards I was like, damn, it would have been nice to not get reverse swept there, and then I could talk smack to France, but right now France is can't say anything, right? So it's
a bummer.
So yeah, I know, right? So
no bummer. All right, well, I think that's a good place to end. A good sentiment to end the interview on, and I don't even want to bring up the score. I don't know how many games Hearthstone we played. I know that I never got close to killing you.
It's close to 50-50, I think.
Yeah.
Give or take 50%. Maybe,
we'll call it a tie. We'll call it a tie at the end of the day. So thanks for the games, Luke, and good luck in this season of Grandmasters. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, DJ.